Welcome to Inside Your County Government, a podcast that brings you an inside look at the people and events in and around local government that shape our Charles County. I'm your host, Brent Huber. This episode is part of our Inside Our Community series. County government works with associated agencies that play an important role in our community, and over this series we'll be exploring who they are, what they do, why they're important, and how you can get engaged. Joining us today is Rochelle Campbell, Executive Director of Toiletry Company, to talk about who they are, what they do, and how they make our community better. Rochelle, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. So what is Toilet and Company?
So Toiletry Company is
Toiletry Company. I told you I was going to make a mistake.
No worries. It's a 501c3 organization in which we provide toiletry items to the community. We primarily focus on underserved communities, and in Charles County, we're in Title I schools to help students to be able to utilize education and the importance of personal health and hygiene. And so we work with a lot of community organizations as well as the school system to bring those products to the community.
When you say toiletry, what can you tell us what you mean by that?
So toiletries is everything from soap to sanitary napkins. So we provide soap, toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo, conditioner, detergent, anything that helps a person with their personal hygiene.
Okay.
As well as we make sure that they have education. So in each one of our kits that we provide to the community, we put an education card in there, and it gives you an overview of how you're supposed to wash your hair, your face, keeping, like your hands and things clean to avoid spreading germs, as well as we have it in both English and Spanish for the community. So each person that gets our kit will have those products in there to be able to take home. So we do two things. So for the schools that we're involved in, we call them toiletry closets. And so in each school that I support throughout the county, we have closets that provide the students specifically with toiletries, as well as making sure like their families, if they're in need as well, they will have, the children are able to, take it home or whatever with them. In the schools, we have the community resource personnel. Those individuals are very keen to know which students need what, which family needs what, which helps us a great deal. Because without them, the toiletry ambassadors is what I call them, I wouldn't be able to do a range of support in the community.
Right.
So that's one of our biggest things that we do throughout Charles County on a monthly basis for several schools. And without the support of Charitable Trust, that wouldn't have probably ever had gotten to the level that is at this point.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Charitable Trust and the connection there in just a second. But I'm really curious because we were talking a little bit before we started. How did this come about?
So back in 2013, I was, I'm an adult, so I'm not going to say bullied. I'm going to say harassed at work.
Okay.
And I was harassed by 6 upper management. I was called incompetent. I was yelled at. I was totally disrespected. My work, of course, was giving me all types of different tasks. And one day I just said, I can't do this anymore. Right. So I literally took a leave of absence for 3 months. And during that time, I was sitting at home, of course, trying to keep a job because I had bills and things like that. Right. But I was sitting in my room and I asked God, why me? And God said, why not you? Take yourself off your mind and help other people. So one of the things that I realized in going through such a big ordeal, because at this point I was in my mid-career. I wasn't 20-something. I did everything I was supposed to do. I went to college, finished my master's. And so to come into some type of life-altering situation like this, it was very heart-wrenching. So my family would ask if I needed help with my mortgage, car, food, but nobody ever asked me if I needed soap or sanitary napkins. Oh. And so at that point, I realized, you know what? If nobody's asking me, what support and services individuals in the community have?
Right.
I know it's not something that you can get through social services. It's not a benefit that they provide. And so that kind of sparked me to get started. And I started just asking people for just donating their travel size products when they go on trips and things like that. And then I just kind of built upon that and then decided to do the 501c3, working with the Veterans Administration, working in the community, working in different elements throughout the state of Maryland. So that's what got me to where I am today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing story. So you started by just going out to you said homeless areas?
So I would go to like Vidocs, tents, knock on tents, asking for, if you need soap or just places that I knew, mainly like in DC areas where it's like a large population of homeless. I would go out and just ask if they needed these items and then just donate them. I would get a group of people together to help me, and they would, support me and give them out. So that's how we started.
How was that received?
It was very welcoming. One of the things that I realized during this journey is that a lot of females don't have sanitary products. And so giving those sanitary products and just seeing like the openness when you offer people, it was just like eye-opening and like an awe for me, because it's nothing that I ever really needed, like growing up or even as an adult. But to know that so many women and girls don't have it was very passionate for me, to make sure that every time we go out, we make sure that we have sanitary products. Even if it's just like a community event, I still make sure we have sanitary products, because we just never know what people need.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It was something that we were talking earlier. It's something that you don't need until you need it. And it's something that I guess we take it for granted.
And I think that would be the biggest word I would use, is that a lot of people take toiletries for granted. It's something that is diverse. Everybody in the whole wide world can use it. It's to stop spreading germs, to also, boost people's self-esteem, your dignity, and to make sure, especially for children, not to be bullied because you have an odor.
Right.
So one of the pivotal points for Toiletry Company is when the pandemic hit and we could no longer really go in the community.
Right.
Is to start like really working with children, because they don't have an option. Their parents are the ones who have the finances. And if they decide not to buy soap, what can they do, right? And so it was very important to me to make sure that children first have education on it and the importance, as well as make sure that they have the products. So they're not bullied. They have self-esteem and their dignity is not like ruined because some mean kid talks about them because of their odor. So,
right. Amazing. So let's go back to Charitable Trust and how it intersects with what you do.
So Charitable Trust has really been a pivotal point for toiletries. Because of our niche, it's toiletries. So it's not a lot of grants out there to specialize specifically in toiletries. So you have to do things around that grant to make sure that you can get it, but it doesn't always like connect.
Right.
When I did my grant for Charitable Trust, not only did they walk me through the process, ask me numerous of times if you needed help, they were there to like give me the baseline to get started. Initially, I guess they were like, what does she need these cards for? What does she need this for? So they actually joined me in one of our walkthroughs at one of the toiletry closets at J.P. Ryan Elementary School. And they were like, oh, now we get it. So just actually saying what's on paper and what's in action really gave them like that eye-opening experience, like, oh, this is what, she's asking for funding. And so it has really been an opportunity for us to grow throughout the county and to grow in just like the different Title I schools and community events.
Yeah. Awesome. So what is your most successful takeaway from all that you've done and so far?
So my most successful takeaway is when the toiletry ambassadors at the school sends me testimonies, pictures, thank yous. Even I think it was like last week, a parent even wrote in saying, thank you for giving us these toiletries for my family.
Wow.
And so things like that is like unseen, unheard, unthought of, but it just resonates that good. It's doing it's purporting the purpose that it's supposed to do and making sure that the toiletries get to the community.
Right. And that's how it started for you.
Right.
You got that voice.
Right.
Oh, amazing. So if people want to get involved, how can people in the community get involved? How can they help?
So one of the things that we do is we focus mainly on working with like Girl Scout, Boy Scout troops, youth who need community service, because each kit that we do, we package. We put the education cards in it. We also have different groups to do affirmation cards for. So I really reach out to youth to make sure that they give back to other youth. We work with Cheltenham Juvenile Facility, and I have those youth in there to give us, to write affirmation cards, not only to give back to the community, but to also give it to themselves. And so with that, we package those in our packages to make sure once it goes to the community, people have that information to give themselves hope or the courage or the fortitude to keep moving, even when you're in a situation where you're in need of toiletry items.
Right. And can people volunteer with you? Can they donate? I mean,
of course. So we always have volunteer opportunities.
You never ask a nonprofit if people can donate or volunteer.
Exactly. So we always have those opportunities. Donations are always welcome, because the grants that we get from charitable trusts, we can only use them in Charles County.
Right.
Our nonprofit is not just in Charles County, so I do a lot of fundraisers, a lot of donations. I do, different things to stream in finances, because we do international as well.
Oh, wow.
So actually last year we went to Dominican Republic, and we were able to help, I want to say it was like 600 children.
Oh, wow.
With toiletry kits. And because of their infrastructure, we didn't take sanitary products, but we were able to purchase reusable sanitary napkins. And so we were able to give those to the young ladies, because they are actually good for 2 years. So you're able to wash them, dry them, and reuse them for up to 2 years.
Wow.
And so even though we do a lot of work in Charles County, we also want to make sure that we impact those outside.
That's amazing. So it's not just here; it's everywhere. Because like we said, it's something that you think about, but you don't think about.
Right.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Rochelle, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I just want to thank everybody who supports the nonprofit, who supports Toiletry Company. Nonprofits aren't one of those things that you can just like say, I'm turning off the lights at 9:00, I'm going to bed. That's it until tomorrow. It's something that's always ongoing. One of the things that we look to do every year is new initiatives. And so this year, our 2 new initiatives is working with girls and boys aged 9 to 11. For boys, it's called Soap is Dope. And then for girls, it's called My First Period program. And so we're really trying to work with the school systems that we already have in place to give them the education on the importance of personal health and hygiene for the students who don't necessarily already, identify, as well as to allow them to package their own toiletries. And so their own toiletry kit. So donations, support, volunteerism, whatever your strength is, your super strength, we welcome it.
Awesome. You followed your passion, and you have, really helped influence and change the lives of a lot of people. Yeah. Amazing. Rochelle, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. And our actual tagline is Love, Hope, and Soap.
Love, Hope, and Soap.
Love, Hope, and Soap.
And where can people get more information?
So we are at www.toiletryandco.org.
Yep, and we'll put that down at the screen and in the show notes. And just amazing work that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Thanks.
That's all we have for this episode. And remember, local government works the strongest when we all participate. So until next time, stay connected and stay engaged. Thanks for listening. If you like this podcast and want to hear more, search Charles County Government on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. And be sure to like and subscribe. We're also available on YouTube. Search Charles County Commissioners. And stay connected for all county news, information, and programs by visiting www.charlescountymd.gov/stay connected.